My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. What I have here is the NatureHike StarRiver Ultralight 2-person tent. And as you can see here with the storage bag, something about this is different. Check that out, folks. This is actually composed of 3 different components. 1, 2, and 3. This tent has been designed so that you can easily separate the components and store them any way that you want to. Let's use bike packing for an example. If you're going out on a trip and you need to separate the components to get it to fit on your bike, you can easily do that with this tent. Or here's another example. You're going out on a backpacking trip with another person and you want to separate the weight. You want to split it up. You can easily do that with this tent. One person could take the fly, the other person could take the inner and the poles, so on and so forth. With those use cases in mind, I cannot say that I've ever seen a storage solution like this before, but I like it. NatureHike, this is ingenious. My friends, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's take a look at the StarRiver Ultralight 2-person tent. Oh yeah. First things first, let's focus on the storage bags and how this works. So again, we have component 1, component 2, and component 3. Here we have a buckle. On this side, we have a buckle. And from there, the components separate. We do have grab handles on both sides. Here we have the inner, here we have the fly, and here we have the poles. Let's go ahead and separate the components here. This is the fly, and here we have the body, the tent stakes, and the guy lines. Additionally, we have some setup instructions. And then we have the tent poles, or I should say tent pole. With the tent body, I can see that we have color-coded hardware. At the head of the tent, the hardware is red. At the bottom here, it is gray. The same applies for the poles. Red tips for the top, gray tips for the bottom. We have set up the inner for the RiverStar tent, and that was a very easy process. With this tent here, this is a 2-person shelter. It has 2 doors. You can see that this tent has a ton of mesh. All of this white material here is mesh. The black material is fabric. With that being said, you can see here that the ratio of mesh to fabric is very good. The head is well protected. It's raised at the foot. But along the sides here, where you get the majority of your airflow, we have a ton of mesh. When it comes to the doors, check this out. We have 2-way zippers, 1 and 2. These roll back, and as you can see here, the doors are gigantic. We have the exact same features on this side. Zipper 1, zipper 2. Wow. The doors for this tent are huge. You can very easily get into and out of this tent. That is impressive. Something else that's impressive here, the head and the foot box, both are vertical. Because of that, this tent feels very, very large. And at the same time, you have a lot of space up at the head, a lot of space at the feet. Normally, the walls pitch in very tight, but in this case, they're vertical. It makes for a larger tent. As far as the dimensions go, because the walls are vertical, this is a long tent. And you actually have usable space in here. So we're looking at 81 inches long, which is 6 feet 9 inches. This is a long tent, folks. As far as the width goes, we're looking at 4 feet, which is 48 inches. That's down at the bottom. Up here at the top, it does come in just a little bit. It is 23 inches. As far as the peak height goes, we're looking at 40 inches, which is 3 feet 4 inches. When you're inside of the tent, we have a mesh pocket up at the toes, a mesh pocket at the head, and a single hook in the middle. This tent does have a bathtub floor, and all of the seams are taped. Once you have the fly on the body there, you have little clips that buckle in and connect the fly to the body. We now have the fly on top of the tent, which was rather easy to install. All you have to do are look at the front and back panels. You can see that one's larger than the other. The large one goes at the head, the smaller one goes at the foot. When it comes to the fly, we have 4 tie-off points for guy lines. When it comes to the doors, we have 2. Each door has 2 zippers. Over the zippers, we have storm flaps. So we have zipper 1, and over here, zipper 2. Zipper 1 allows you to open up the tent just like this. It's a smaller opening, but you can easily enter the tent and exit. Zipper number 2 allows you to do this. You now have an additional way to enter and exit the tent. This is quite a bit larger. Or you can do this. You can throw back the door, or you can use this as an awning, which I will set up now. This NatureHike tent has 2 awnings. Each door can be converted into a full awning. These are dry weather awnings, not wet weather, meaning this, if it begins to rain, you will need to close these. With that being said though, these awnings are sick. On those dry nights, you can leave these open and you will have the best airflow you've ever had. Now that you all have seen this tent in detail, let's go over some stats. This is a 3-season tent. This is a 2-person tent. This is a 2-door tent. There are 2 versions of this tent. This is the ultralight version. There's a non-ultralight version. The non-ultralight version weighs about 1.5 pounds more than this, and it does not come with the fancy stuff sacks. This tent is available in 2 colors, silver and beige. This is the beige version. When this tent is stored, it is an impressive 15.7 inches by 5.1 inches. When it comes to the materials, the fly is a 150 denier ripstop nylon that has been silicone treated. The floor is a 20 denier ripstop nylon. The tent features 15 denier nylon mesh. We have aluminum poles and stakes. The waterproof rating of the fly is 1,500 millimeters. The waterproof rating of the floor is 3,000. Concerning the weight of this tent, again, this is a 2-person tent, and the weight comes in at 3.6 pounds on my scale. That, my friends, is very impressive, especially for the price, which is $200. As far as what is included with this tent, you get the rain fly, the inner, the aluminum pole set, a triangular storage bag, which I didn't show you, but I will show you a picture of it now. You receive 6 guy lines, 14 tent stakes, 1 footprint, the storage bag for the fly, the storage bag for the inner, and the pole storage bag. Concerning my impressions of this tent, so far, I'm very, very impressed with what I see here. I really like this. This is a very well thought out tent that's well designed. There's a ton of space inside of this. Certainly enough space for 2 people. It is a palace for 1. If you're a tall individual, consider this tent. The quality is excellent. The storage bag system is ingenious. The doors are huge. We also have awnings on both sides. Ventilation with this tent is going to be excellent. Not only do the doors pull away, but the front and the back do as well. Additionally, this tent offers a lot of vestibule space. So if you need space to store your backpack, your boots, and so on, you can do that with this tent. Concerning the weight of this tent, this is very impressive. 3.5 pounds for this tent, and it's a 2-person tent that's also very large. This tent weighs only 3.5 pounds, but yet it's only $200. That is very impressive. You can very easily go out looking for 2-person tents at this weight range and pay $300 to $400. So the fact that you can get this for $200, that's impressive. As it stands, everyone, I do not see any flaws when it comes to this shelter. It's well made, the stitching looks good, the seam tape looks good. The setup process is nice and easy. All in all, this appears to be an excellent tent that I'm excited to begin testing out. Speaking of testing, that will take me some time to get done, considering that we're in the middle of winter. With that being said though, there will be some nice days for me to take this tent out, and I cannot wait. Again, everybody, I am very impressed with what I see here. Very impressed. NatureHike, I think you knocked it out of the park this time. Unless there's some sort of issue, I think this is gonna be a stellar tent. And with that being said, everyone, I am done. Comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you all think about the StarRiver 2 ultralight tent? Or is it River Star? These names, people. What do you all think about the NatureHike tent? As it stands right now, I'm very impressed. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel. I will begin rain testing very soon, and we will see together how well this tent performs. I think it will perform very well. Ultimately, the product will speak for itself. If it leaks, I'll show you. If it doesn't, I will show you. If you found this episode helpful, hit the thumbs up before you go. Oh yeah. Until next time, everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor.